think it, it set me up for COVID. I like left my job before COVID, and then it's kind of for 2 years but that really changes your life when you don't do something and then you go back to work. And all my friends that like straight out of school into jobs with families, and not many of them have more than one kid, which is another story. But they hit 40 or whatever, and they're like, dude, I just want to freaking smoke weed and play golf, and like they hate their job. Like the responsibility is killing them, and like their phones, like having a phone where you have to respond, like that's such a freaking scam. Like a 1 day response should be standard, especially if you own a company or something. Everybody.
I'm saying, like, it kind of seems like maybe this is leaked out, and it's like a way for people like me to like that are like curious to this stuff that dig into it and neutralize someone like me to where I'm digging at all this stuff and wasting all my time. I kind of gotten away from it. I don't come on Discord as much. I've moved on. But I like wasted so many hours. Now that I look back, I'm like, was that a good use of my time? Like, you only have so many hours in your life, and to waste all those resources, maybe it was a way to pigeonhole people like me, and I took the bait. And yeah, okay, you'll figure stuff out, but you'll never convince the average fucking NPC on the street. You're never going to convince those fuckers. Even my own family.
Why bother? Why bother trying? Just put the information in front of them and let them absorb it. They're either capable or they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've moved on. I've burned 10 years of my life. I've moved on. I'm not going to burn the rest of them.
Like, I don't know. I don't think about it like that. I mean, my story doesn't sound great, but it works both ways. The internet, dude, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of a desperation thing. Like, they're telling us the Earth's flat now, but then like clowning us. And honestly, I saw a Trump quote pretty soon after that when he was like talking about how he flies, and he's like, yeah, of course it is. Like, someone just caught him and he was like, yeah, I know it.
You know what the problem is that you think of them as fucking NPCs and they're just normal people like you and me.
Yeah, it's kind of
not really. The NPC is someone that you can present.
To me, every single flat earther sounds exactly the same. So to me, you guys are more like NPCs than the average person.
No. Here, this is what an NPC is. When you lay out all the evidence, none of it sinks in. It goes right in one ear and out the other. It's common sense thing.
It's not common sense. It's bullshit pseudoscience, and that's the problem with it.
What asking
what
questions?
Is bullshit?
Like, the flat Earth evidence is all bullshit pseudoscience. That's all it is.
Okay, well, it's mostly.
Okay, now you're the NPC.
Like, from all this academic stuff, which is all figured out, we're just asking.
That's your problem. Is that you don't think I've looked at it with a critical mind, and that
I'm not saying that.
I've actually critically thought about these things.
You can both say that.
But I have.
Not if you just made that statement. You haven't.
Oh, I absolutely fucking have.
Well, we can both say that. We can both say you're not thinking about it critically. So that's why this breaks down,
No, the problem is that
let's see if you guys hold on. Let's see if
you don't think that.
Let's see if you guys can find common ground.
Because you don't think that I have, even though I have. It doesn't just go one ear and out the other. I can spit back almost every fucking thing you guys say about flat Earth, but I don't believe any of it. I think it's all bullshit. I actually understand the science behind it, understand why it's bullshit.
Okay, so if you can't find common ground on the shape of the Earth, right? What about something else? Like, what about 9/11, for example?
No, that's not the problem. The problem is that you're calling people NPCs, and that's how you think of them.
Yeah,
I think of someone like
I'm just asking you about 9/11. Do you think 9/11's like an obvious inside job, or do you think like the official narrative holds up?
Depends what part you're talking about. Do I believe
the way the buildings came down, the way Building 7 was, the way.
Do I think
like
a fire burning down a building is possible after a bunch of fucking debris falls on it? Absolutely. Do I think planes?
Okay, you're the NPC. Step off. There's no need to talk to you. Move on.
The steel and concrete is possible. Absolutely.
It's a degree of.
Hold on, guys. I've just asked some question. Like, do you think like the official narrative holds up then?
That
Andy.
some people flew into the buildings and they fell down, and then Building 7 fucking collapsed because of the aftermath of it, yes, I do believe that
Yeah, and
part
you've
of
done
the official
you've
story.
done
Do I
research.
believe every little thing, especially about the stuff when it first happened? No, because we've got new information since then, and we know that Saudi Arabia was mostly behind the attacks, and that the fact that we invaded Iraq because of it is complete bullshit, and it was just to fucking get oil. Like, we know
Right,
that.
but you believe the
Super
official
NPC.
narrative with the buildings. So this is why, right? Like, I think you're just triggered because the NPC comment applies directly to you, and I think you take
No,
it personal.
the problem is
Which
when
you
you
kinda
call
should.
somebody an NPC, you act like they're not
Kinda
fucking
should,
critical
right?
thinkers.
Because
That's the
you are
problem.
like an NPC.
Stop calling
I
people
just asked you something
NPCs.
that,
Try
right,
to
a
put yourself
basic question, like a
like,
litmus test, right? And
no.
you crumble. You crumble. You're like,
I
yeah,
didn't
I believe the
crumble at
physics
all.
that don't
The
exist,
the
right?
problem is that you call people NPCs and you don't think that
Spectrum,
they're
dude.
actual critical thinking people.
No,
Spectrum.
you didn't critically think about
You're
9/11.
not.
I
You don't know
You're
a
not a
fucking
critical
thing
Hey,
thinker.
about
Andy. Hey, moderator. Andy, you're coming in pretty hostile,
That's because the
honestly.
topic of calling other human beings NPCs fucking makes me angry. That's why.
Because you're an
Explain
NPC.
it.
Okay, well, we're just
Buddy.
okay. Yes, there was a conversation going on. You can
I understand.
express if you have a disagreement, but you're not going to derail the
Right,
whole
and then
thing.
they
Like,
started
just
attacking me.
keep
Do
it
you understand they
calm.
started attacking me right after that? Personally attacking me.
Why do you think I'm
Do you understand that
moderating
they did that,
everybody,
right?
but you're the only one that's continuously talking, and you're even over talking me? Okay.
Tell these people not to personally attack other people and to treat other humans as humans
We're all
Okay.
human.
Anyways.
instead of NPCs.
What if they are NPCs?
Term, dude.
How do we
You're
treat them?
delusional if you think other people are
Yeah.
NPCs.
Yeah, that's how we think of NPCs. They're just delusional to the actual world going on around them. All right, now that we
To a
sum that up,
degree.
can these two get back to their conversation?
I don't know what it was.
You guys
Yeah,
are talking
that's what I mean. He derailed the conversation. I forgot what we were even talking
They're
They're
about.
just
I do
circle
that.
jerking
Tartaria.
about all the fucking conspiracy theories.
Tell me about
the
your
past
logo.
hour.
Anyways,
the
Ron,
same.
it's nice. Okay, you guys. Okay, Ron, it's nice to hear you, Fibonacci. I think you were
Same,
saying something about
Redford.
like you just felt like and how you felt like you spent a lot of time talking to people. And I have to say, like, I've always enjoyed listening to you talk. And I've always had good conversations. And you know, we sat in VC check-in for how many hours, and you talked to people, and I don't know, you always seem to have a very positive effect from what I've witnessed. So that's just my 2 cents, and it's good to see you or hear you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I mean, yeah, that was like my whole life. You know what I mean? Like I spent so many hours, and it's like my one brother who is still like the Globe guy, I don't speak to him. I see him like maybe once a year. It's like, was this a good use of my time? Like alienating myself from like even my family to like try and like awaken people, thinking that we're gonna tip the tide against the people that I despise, like the controllers. And it looks like we're gaining traction. Like if you go on X and you start reading some of the stuff, I'm like, holy shit, they're like really like outing people. But I don't know what the net effect is. You know what I mean? If they could do like another 2020 event again, I don't know. I don't know if they could pull it off. I don't know if the people would rise up or how we could oppose them.
Ignore it. Yeah, kind of. You know, it's such a big change. It's like, how do you get there? It would be stages where it's like, oh, a shutdown, and someone else will do their shutdown to their end, and then we're gonna just get cornered. So if we're aware, and I think more people are than we would think. Maybe it's to a degree on other topics, but like a Benghazi.
Twitter
Twitter
is like awakened. Twitter is buzzing. Like I'm like, holy shit! Like
that's
there's
Elon.
like a lot of people.
So he's letting that happen.
mean,
No, I'm not saying it's
yeah.
bullshit. You know, it's like so, but he has a plan for it. Remember, he was even saying it's going to be like your wallet, and I'm not registered or anything, but I was, Twitter. Although it's fucked up too, as far as banning or blocking and botting and whatever, but it's leaking through. funny to call it.
I wonder how many people are still on it. Like people like the Trump tards are on like Truth Social, like his own social media, and they're still drinking all his Kool-Aid and believing his psyops. And meanwhile, places are burning down and getting flash flooded. Like
Yeah,
there
dude,
was
it's like
in Asheville, North Carolina.
to get
Just
somewhere,
now in Texas.
you're gonna go through pain, and I'm not saying like whatever the Trump psyops like you're talking about. I'm not saying you can have the opinion on it and stuff, and I'm not saying I have a good one on them, but it's like that's us waking up, you know. I mean, I guess like, and then getting hit by whatever weapons are in like Ukraine is just a big. Let's get all this money we've been building up and put it somewhere where we can make it disappear. For old weapons, it makes zero sense, but it's keeping a machine going so they can do the other stuff, which we know is mostly moving people around for profit or gains in 15-minute city development shit. So that's how I see it. I've been in San Diego for a long time, and how it changes. So.
There's a part of California that's on fire. It's right now. It's like an upscale area it's like by a bay or something. I forget the name of it.
Yeah, it's
there
like a
Laguna Beach.
Laguna Beach, that's the place. Yep.
Very
nice.
upscale. No damage. I don't even think one house burned, but there's some vegetation. They got it out pretty quick.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was like Paradise or Malibu or the Santa Rosa. Like that happened under Trump, Santa Rosa, and it was in Fort McMurray, Canada, and all these places. I can go down a long list.
Yeah, but like the Summer of Love did or whatever the hell, like the Chaz, what the hell was it? Like that's all like the parasite freaking squirming. I'm not like whatever Trump's plan is, but we just don't know enough about him. And if you didn't look into the Q thing,
I did. I tried to awaken some of those people because it was somewhat of an they were looking into things like MK Ultra, Pizzagate. They were looking into things that were substantial, but when it came to Flat Earth, that's when they would ban me. I would get banned out of their groups.
Flat Earth's like been like that, and that's why it's like, why does it matter? It kind of doesn't, except for that it's one of those things where it's like it's so easy, and third grade could understand this, and then
no, but there's someone that might know it's flat, but they don't connect the dots to the end game of what it actually means. And when they say, "Oh, Putin will do this" or "China will do this," it's like, no, there is no Putin and there is no China and United States. They're all one entity. They're all acting as one entity. They're two-faced. They're not representing us versus them. They're representing the elites versus everyone. There are no independent nation states.
But they are fighting each other a little bit. Like it's a power.
That's a charade. Like two pro wrestlers hit each other with a chair or whatever, and afterwards they're best friends. It's a show for the public consumption.
There's levels. I'm saying the top people are vying for power too, like to control. They're trying to get in place for the next reset, whether it's catastrophic, natural, engineered, or just war and economic reset. They're all working in a game. We're all.
Let's say you're on a team with Tom Brady, right? And you're like, Tom Brady's cocky, but he's on your team, and you need him to win the game. So like they're all working together for their greater cause. They're not on our side. They're all working as a team against us.
But they're on our side because it's more like we're a bunch of teams in the NFL. But yeah, it's all one country. I just gotta what level are we talking about? So
no, all the government is not on our side. The government is on the side of the controllers.
But there's world governments, there's local governments, there's federal government.
And they're all on that team. They're all on the team that prints the money. They're all on that team. You have to be one of them.
Teams would be countries.
Let me ask you, do you think it's like a complete, utter control? structure
For the
going
most
on where
part,
they make every play, every call, and it's all just theatrics across the board?
I would say like 99%. There might be a small town, like in Idaho or Alaska, like a very small town where the sheriff is maybe against it or whatever. But for the most, every major city, mayor, governor, senators, congressmen, those people are all. There might be one odd person because there was one person that said he didn't have AIPAC representative. There was only one congressman. He's like, every other person I spoke to had an AIPAC representative. So there was one guy that worked his way in there that seemed like he was legit.
Man, but that's not an end all necessarily that he doesn't have it either. I mean, it's a great point. I think I know what that means, but it's manipulated, man. It's not under push button control. It's people are programmed, people are set up. Here's your next step. You gonna take it or not? Here's the kick in the fucking face. We own you, but it breaks down a little bit, so it's out of control, is what I'm saying, and it's got to be.
Do you think?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, do you think there's like these guys are jockeying for power and finance, or do you think it's just like all the players? Do you think they're actually competing with
They're
each
on
other?
the same team. Let me give you an idea. George Bush and John Kerry, they were both Skull and Bones guys, right? They both went to Skull and Bones. One was a Democrat, one's a Republican, but they're on the same team. It doesn't really matter who wins. Yeah, maybe they had a pissing contest to see who's going to be president, but it was already predetermined who the elites had to be their guy. There was already predetermined. These outcomes of like Biden. Biden was predetermined to win, even though Trump was more popular with the people and he was getting bigger turnout. But Biden was supposed to be president for whatever reason for their narrative.
No, that it really did. That came down to organizations, man. I would say, and like somebody's like digitally, yep, he got the votes. So I'm not saying Trump didn't know he was going to lose or whatever, but you know, what I mean, it's a mess. They ran Kamala Harris, bro. Like, and I'm not. There's no Republicans that are doing good, like either. They're not. And that's what's great about Trump. You know, and like it's
So even the wars.
blessing.
What's great about Trump if he's on the same team? That doesn't make any sense. But
no, I'm
even
saying
like
it's a blessing. He's showing what I like when you say teams, man. Like the same organization, yes, but teams, managers, players, you know, club. Like I don't know. There's thousands of towns and sheriffs. California is not a blue state. Like they win the votes because they fake it, you know, and the other side of the same team, yeah, like two car dealerships going after each other, but it's owned by the same guy.
Yeah, but it's two sides of the same coin, man. You got the coin has a head and a tail, but who owns the coin, right? The people who own these congressmen are the AIPAC owns both sides. I mean, don't get it twisted. You're going to say that's what they got you in the psyop, believing there's a red and a blue, there's a Republican and a Democrat. Those are your two options. But at the end of the day, they both answer to their master.
But it isn't,
and it's
like
not the public
is in control either, dude. I mean, you got to go up to fucking Jesuits, and then it's like, so
it's above the Jesuits. The Jesuits are a branch of the money printers, the fake Jews.
Yeah, because they borrowed money from them, but things get inverted. It's not as old as you think, like the Orthodox Jews, and I don't know, why did Trump study the Talmud? Like that's one of his mentioned.
Because he's one of them, man. He's one of them.
Yeah, well, maybe he's a Torah guy, you know, and that's a big fucking difference. And is it the same team? I don't know. I think there's a battle between good and evil. Honestly, I'm not saying it's as clear as Trump.
He's on the Israeli shekel.
He's on he's on a Jewish tip for sure, but there's a little battle going on in Israel probably over what Jew is. I don't know. You understand that?
So you're like a Trump fan? So you're kind of like you align with Q and shit?
Yeah, dude, I just learned a lot from it. So, but because there's stuff that doesn't make any sense why it would be PSYOP, you know, time travel
What?
stuff and the
Q?
old world stuff.
You don't think Q's a psyop?
Well, I think things can get hijacked. I think it could be. I think there's history to the letter Q and language and America and like
Yeah, ambiguous, vague,
no,
chain.
like all our Indians have used the Q instead of like a C. There wasn't even that letter, you know. Q was a big
Yeah, right. But what I'm saying is that's ambiguous and it's vague because what you just said says nothing. Right? You get where
okay.
I'm going? And that's what
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
what Q does, right? And,
yeah. Like
and I just want to give you a different perspective. What if Q is nothing more than a pressure release valve for all the people that are fed up and an outlet to give them a place to trust
but that's
that
what we're talking
all
about,
their problems will be answered?
right? And I don't believe that though, but I still see like value. Like that's we're kind of talking about.
So you think it's the exact opposite? You think it's just
No. I mean,
so how are they on the same team then?
they're on the same.
If there's an internal battle, right?
I
It's
wouldn't say
good versus
team.
evil.
I'd say
That's
they're in
what
the
Q
same league, the League of Nations, and there's world government. You know, like that layers. But we're talking about how
Well, that's different than a full system control.
no, about how Fibonacci's saying
That's
like, did this just take someone like me who could have been a valuable, person and like mess with their life or like what they're doing with it? So as far as a
So
psyop,
I'm saying it's a way to pigeonhole somebody into a rabbit hole that has no end game. So in other words, somebody who would out them, right? Let's get this person
that's what you said about
to
you. Like,
devote their time and like the Q people. Let's take those people and we'll pigeonhole them and we'll have them spend every hour of their day, right? And their family members will think they're crazy. And in the meantime, they're moving on with their agenda. They're shutting down the world with things like the whole COVID shit.
COVID.
yeah,
They're
and then
they're
sorry.
and then people like me are just I'm neutralized. Like they're taking people out of the system that them. But like I'm saying, I see Twitter, people are yapping all over and da da da. But I
Dude,
don't know what the net effect is going to be of it.
I'm just saying there's real shit to it. Like there's because you could say flat Earth is a psyop in that way. So like
That's
that
what I
back to
said. It was a way to
yeah,
rope people in. That's why I
yeah.
think they released it. They
But
were
dude, think
willing to let it out there and to know that it will not affect their power.
well because it's late in the game, so it's like we can give that up. Maybe is kind of what I'm thinking, and yeah, so
Well, they know it. Most people will not be convinced. Like you could present as much evidence as you want, and there's no convincing someone who's an NPC. Someone who refuses to examine the evidence with an open mind. That's the majority. The majority will not look at it until somebody of a in a position of power comes out and says it. They won't believe it. If someone like an authority figure like Trump came out and said it, then these fucking Trump tards would believe it.
right. So he had 17 flags on stage multiple times, 17 washing machines. I know this is all vague shit, but I have looked into the history of Q in America.
17 washing machines.
Literally, when he was at one of the
Yeah, but
fucking
that
world.
just
I
means
remember that.
Yeah.
that means
Yeah.
nothing though.
It doesn't.
That
It doesn't. It means it's a
I thought-
psyop too in a lot of ways. I'm not saying it's evidence, man. I'm just
it
like
just means we gave you correlation so you could relate causation.
right, but like
a fucking
Q
troll.
was about like there was no trap. I mean, it was a trap in a lot of ways. What I'm saying is there was no like I don't know, like it was all interpreted by people. You know what I mean? So I understand the
No, it
Bolshevik
wasn't.
parallel, but like
No, the origins of Q was 8kun, 8chan, 4chan.
yeah,
I
no,
saw it
but
early, and
with
it
like
wasn't all
what
people.
mixed
It was
statements, mixed statements that
like
got yeah.
so on these forums, right? On these forums, you have like a culture, right? Like anywhere else, right?
Very
8kun
different.
has their culture, 8chan has their culture, 4chan has their culture, right? Now, when something in them, inside that culture is organic, it grows, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't stand out. Now, when someone like Q comes in at first people are like, oh yeah, oh all right, this that, but then we quickly realize like it's not organic because everything tied around it, right? Like everything to do with it, all the external like flooding of that space was just all inorganic shit that didn't align with the culture. So for me, that was like one of the early warning signs, right? Because it's like, well, why are there so many people pushing this shit and they don't even belong here? They're not from here. They don't know how to act here, right?
Yeah.
So that's for me. That's just a complete red flag, and then
No,
it
I
just
understand.
grew and grew and grew.
But if you miss that, I mean, you have just stuff in history with Tartary and being like Kitai being the city, and like past presidents going, like cabinet members visiting Genghis Khan's grave, and Trump Genghis Khan parallels, and Scottish the fight over the P's and Q's, like, and this is like ancient battles, families versus families, explains that Trump and Putin are in the same clan, like the Rurik clan, which is like the actual logo that the Ukraine is using. That, and they're all fighting over their freaking crests and their ancient past because they've been controlling for resets. So, kind of, it doesn't mean that there's this like the military stuff. Like you end up realizing that General Flynn is like, selling out and freaking. And but dude, Dan Crenshaw, like that guy was fine until Q, and then now he's just falling
Bro,
apart.
loop something coherent, tie something together. You're
Dude, I
saying a
understand.
lot of like stuff that's like just scattergunned. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're
that's
like
just how I
over
talk.
here
Because
with it, over there with it. No, that's the way Q operates. None of it is coherent. It's just you find
well, I
a
can't explain to
similarity
you
here
how.
that you can relate
Yeah.
to over here, and then you just that's how it started. That's all he does. He like gives you little breadcrumbs to lead you to different
So what about
conclusions.
the like the
And
time
it's all ambiguous.
time travel? So
Yeah.
how do you explain time travel to
Fake.
someone?
Fake and gay.
Okay, well, is there ways to have things from the past come to the future, or communicate
In a
with the
sense.
future, get information from the
In a
future?
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can plant the tree, hide a cod inside it, right? As it's growing. Do like a little slit inside it, slide that cod in,
Yeah.
let that tree grow around it, come back in 20 years and be like,
Well, no, I mean,
I know there's a cod in here,
the guy that
right? And
wrote
you'd be like, holy shit, how could anybody know that? Cut the tree
the
down,
guy
there's a
wrote
cod in there. I'm from the
wrote books
I'm from the
about
future.
the Titanic. A guy wrote books about the
Yeah.
last president and Barron Trump, and a guy wrote a book about a guy named Elon. I mean, that's maybe they did it backwards, but yeah,
So
man, I can't.
what books did they write?
Huh?
What are you saying? Like they wrote books, and because things happen in books, like you can make that argument for Dean Koontz, right? He wrote in his
Yeah.
book. I forget the name of the
Well,
book,
he was
but I got it
CIA.
like a file saved, a snippet of it, right?
Yeah,
Where he
guy wrote a
talks
book
about
about.
COVID, right? Directly talks about like the string and everything.
Oh yeah, no, that's a crazy one.
Right? Yeah, and you can say, all right, well, that's either time traveling or predictive programming.
I understand, but that I'm talking
Right?
about
Like
Ingersoll Lockwood when he wrote
everything
Barron
they did with
Underground.
like
Yeah.
yeah, I just addressed that though. Like I just addressed it with like predictive programming. That's more likely
No, but it
than
works.
time travel.
Sure. So yeah, no, I understand, but I feel like that's more in this newer age of more government control than before. And this is like 1900s. Man,
All right,
yeah.
if
I'm
there
not
was a
arguing for that.
time traveler, just say I gave you that, right? I'm like, yeah, all right, time travel, that's cool, right? It's real. All right, how could we avoid the conclusion that the time traveler would have the answers to the resolution? How do you get over that hurdle? Why would the time traveler not already know the answers to solve the current problems? Why would he just write books about it?
Well, I'm
To
not
warn
saying
you?
that time travel wrote them necessarily. Maybe
All right, maybe he
somebody
influenced
saw
them.
the time travel. Well, again, like I was
Or he
saying
just
earlier,
influenced them.
how do you fix a problem? Like maybe by lying to people for a while. for like 10 years.
All right, let me put it different, right? So you could go back and to say one day you're out with your brother, he gets hit by a car, boom. All right, you can go back in time now. What do you do?
Exactly, dude. It's not like
You get your brother the fuck out of there, right?
yeah, but
You
that's
fix
not
that from
that's
happening.
not how you affect time. Like I guess is what I'm kind of getting at. It's more like, and it's not even like make that car model never be made, but it's something more like that, you know. Or, but I'm not saying I'm have
I don't know
theories
the
on.
rules to time travel then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's like honestly,
If
a
it's just gonna be a
friend who,
goalpost shift, I got nothing.
yeah, well, you know, they did the Philadelphia experiment. And like since then, it's been pretty fucked up. 9/11 was a similar one. Everybody's watching. Something happens, and you get a story that changes your mind. It messed with everybody's life. I had all kinds of theories on what we should do. So that basically saying about that. Just had a friend who got deep into it and basically agrees he lost his mind. But the funny
What
thing is, it really is questioning. And to call it like a cult or whatever, like Flat Earth does, it's like no, if you want to leave, you can. And the
what's the
evidence
big
of Pizzagate and all that piling on it is like, go ahead.
what's the number one or close to number one, like top 5, like selling point on Q? Like when you read it or you researched something, you were like, holy shit, there's something to this. Like what was that moment for you?
Man, I know it's hard. I think it probably started with the like, like a basic NPC falling for a psyop. I mean, a little bit, except for I was 5 years into. We're talking about like believing people, like having your Alex Jones type or whatever, just like get discredited. Or not that I was that big on Jones, but I just knew nobody thought Trump would win. So I don't even know when Q came out. I was late on it, but we all quickly called it a psyop too. But then we still looked at it.
Trust the plan.
Yep, but just
Trust
the
the
maritime
plan.
law stuff. You have Q captains. You have a Q haircut in China, and when we're talking, this is out of Tartary and finding parallels with it. And
Yeah,
Russia,
do it with the letter S. Do it with the
flamenco.
letter S.
No, it doesn't work because
See what
I
you come
mean,
up with.
I brought up quickly, but there's the spelling, like what letters are used, was a part of like families having power, and so I feel like Trump's like switching something up, fighting for his like ancient family, and you do that by grinding gears to a halt in a crazy, you know, 200-year experiment, like in 250, with the way wars are going and have been going.
500 years.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't think it's. I mean, I know there's been wars for a long time, but and the things that's like, what did he do? Why doesn't he just say this? Why doesn't he put someone in jail? It's like, well, there weren't wars. Okay, he made a $150 billion deal with Saudi Arabia first term, like right out of the gate for weapons. It's like, okay, that sucks. He made the vaccine. It's kind of deciding whether he's good or not, but it's more just like he's a huge player, and Q stuff was all wrapped up in it. So
Yeah. It's a big show, man.
it is, yeah.
Fucking, and some people don't even know they're in the show, man. They're just going along, and it's like,
Yeah, and so that's where the NPC thing, like to a degree, spectrum of like what's scripted and how could it be scripted? Because everyone possessed or clones? No, just predictable.
Well, how come? I don't know. I guess it's like, all right, what about all the stuff? I get there's a lot of shit with Q, right? There's a lot of things that track with Q. I'm not gonna bullshit you on that, like, right? Especially at the beginning, right? There's so many correlations and so many coincidences that you just can't ignore. But what about the accountability on the failed to deliver promises?
yeah, that's key, bro.
No, it is. That's
Like,
what.
Of delivery.
how does that? How
that's what I'm
how do you
saying,
like
gotta
dance
break
around
down.
that?
Like you couldn't just like COVID was like, what's going to happen here, and it could have gone bad. Maybe Trump could have pulled a plug. Like if he's fighting at all, or if there's really a big war, it could have started there. Like the conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter was a big fucking deal. There's always an assassination attempt on that 20-year cycle or whatever it is. 19 to 20 years.
19 years, yeah.
Right, but we got no lockup, right? We got no locker up, right? The promises.
I understand, yeah, no, but that's what would that do? You know, and like it's like even now it was like, oh, this time around, and the whole Epstein thing, like in FBI, I don't know.
I think
No.
that would get everybody on board. Everybody that was considering Q being legit.
Oh, yeah, I
I
would've
think that
jumped
would have
all
just
over it.
confirmed. Oh,
I
I'd
would've-
be all over it.
Fucking, let's go. Let's go.
How could you not? A politician
our
being
shot.
fucking
Let's go.
indicted for treason?
You're right,
That's
I
like
guess.
fantasy
None of
land
that
shit.
shit happened.
You know what I
I
mean?
would have been.
No, but wouldn't you
Q-card.
would you do a bunch at once, or would you in cycle? Like, would you start with one? Then it'd just be a fucking. There would be all kinds of switches being pressed for, you know, events like the protest stuff or the shootings and stuff. You know, I'm on the full level, dude. Like, but
nobody
yeah,
goes down.
what? Yeah, no, right.
Nobody goes down.
They're going down with like putting all their
Right.
eggs.
They're going.
Only
Like
a couple
No, I mean,
eventually. 2
we're
more
all
weeks.
going down with them though. But then it's like,
Yeah,
how do we
in
get ahead of it?
like 2 more weeks? Just give it 2 more weeks, right? And then when that comes, just give
flatten
it
the curve.
2 more weeks.
2 weeks to flatten the curve,
Dude, it's
man.
like, don't.
No, I'm fucking with you, man. I'll stop pressing. I'm fucking with you.
I
I
appreciate it.
know.
We're like
Yeah,
same
that
page.
was funny though.
But I think that's a big concept. Is like, how would you fix it? You know, and it's like, it would be stepping in the game and like
Oh shit.
doing the opposite. That
Oh,
just
term
sounds-
limit.
Yesterday they were talking about, you know, I call it gintopia, but there's people were like, how do we make this system work without money? And it went on for a few hours. You guys were bringing up some cool stuff, cool ideas, man. But could it work? I don't know, man.
Oh, you missed out on we had a good one yesterday with solar hydrogen loop.
I think I was listening, man.
Oh, you were here?
No, I just listened online, I think, and
Oh, right.
I was doing some yard work and shit, but it was good.
Yeah, he's got me contemplating that one.
Yeah,
I was online pricing out pots. I'm like, well, I could build this, I could build that, I could save some money here. I never even thought of it, you know? Never even thought to like go solar into hydrogen. That's 100%
oh
free
yeah, I
energy.
mean that all this idea has been around for a long time, man. Pulling it off, you know, that's a whole nother.
Well, what got me was like,
fucking hydrogen's highly explosive shit, man. Be careful.
Well, I mean, liquid, I would say, yeah. But
Fuck, dude,
it's
I was just messing around in my garage one day with a couple of jugs and it's making me some hydrogen, man. It fucking blew up on my ass.
you know what though? Isn't it
storing it in?
Isn't it like implosive in a way? Like, because I watched a guy who would blow bubbles and light them.
It blew the fucking top off my jar. I don't know. That's all I know.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, I mean, it makes pressure, but I forgot how he was showing that. Because anyway, honestly, the guy just made videos.
It can't implode because it's lighter than the atmosphere. So the atmosphere will rush in, right? And the hydrogen will rush out.
Yeah, well,
So
it burns up and it. But honestly, this guy that made these videos sounded exactly like Fibonacci for a second. I guess it's for me hearing him a little bit, but
All right.
because he did kinds of peanut hunter stuff and whatnot. But my
saying-
thing that got me was
you could get like a whole fucking pallet of solar panels for like.
yeah, but
Jeez,
that's
dude.
for
But that's
cheap, man.
dependent on all the subsidies and the way the market is right now, you know, because everyone's building it.
He posted a link, bro. He posted a link, a current
know.
sale for like 2 Gs for like 30
Yeah, no.
something fucking kilowatts.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
pallet, 33 panels. I like number.
Illuminati confirmed.
Well, no, I kind of jumped in on it. I was like, but that doesn't seem like if you're depending on people that make these solar panels, they last a long time. You can use used ones and still do the experimentation and stuff. They were trying to build like a tight system, and I was like, well, if no one's making cheap solar panels,
I think it's gonna be in the tens of thousands to do like a really nice.
Yeah, you could probably
System.
do it for like 10 grand. Something pretty decent.
Yeah, but
20
the
grand.
cylinders, man.
20 grand. It's
cylinder.
gonna.
You need the regulators, like the whole like
Mhm.
manifold system, the cylinders to
out of
hold that.
brass.
All those fucking, all that piping, valves, you know, containers. Yeah,
The special gaskets,
separators.
because
You got to have the separators.
yeah, that's where I'm like, dude, like I'm thinking like the shit I use in my industry. It's like, dude, this
As
shit's
long-
not cheap.
As long as your engine runs, you know, your generator runs on hydrogen, you're good, man. That's a whole nother configuration you got to have for your generator. You can't
Yeah,
buy
and then
a
the whole
generator.
isn't the auto industry supposed to go to hydrogen in like
They
traditional
already
engines?
have it. It's been around, I
No.
don't know, close to
No,
10
I'm saying
years.
like
Toyota.
right, but no, but Porsche is talking about like all their cars, like their regular engines, like built to run on hydrogen.
Yeah,
Which is funny because it was all supposed to be electric by 40, but I think like electric cars are just a stepping stone to.
that's going to be the trade-off, you know, because electric's definitely fucking booming right now. And then
Yeah, but
at some
it
point,
can't be-
us fucking motorheads would be like, well, okay, I'll take a hydrogen. You got hydrogen? Yeah, I'll take
No,
it.
I don't think electric can do everything. I mean, not that we're going to be on freeways, maybe if we're just
It
getting
can't.
stuff delivered, but no, I mean, I feel like that keeps innovation in production factories and like I mean, battery like or Elon's developing technology that'll be used for something else, maybe. Same with space.
Well, space is fake and gay, but
No, his rocket.
rocket. I like rich guys like rockets. I found that out.
But I think
I learned that
I
in
mean,
a
I think-
song.
like someone could release hydrogen right now and kill the market. It just doesn't happen. Like W owns most of European cars. So when you talk about control and who owns what politician, it's like there are layers. It compartmentalizes and
Yeah, it's a pyramid. We all know
they
that.
just tap people on the shoulder like, you want to do this? You know what it
Yeah,
means?
I agree.
though, right?
I don't think it's just like one small entity
Nah.
dictating every aspect of the world, like a full complete takeover. I think it's more of you have like sections competing against each other. Like I think these wars, like some of these wars are real. Like that war in Ukraine, I think that was a real thing. You know, I think the war in
Still
Iran,
going.
like the whole
Part of it, yeah.
like
But
these
it
guys,
gets
these
seized.
leaders don't get along. I don't believe they get along. To a certain extent, yeah. Like they have certain elitist rules that they
Yeah, I
adhere
mean,
to, but they're not like working together
yeah, like
because they all
Saddam,
want the same power.
Saddam was not fucking. He was pulling his U.S. dollar or oil reserves. He's like, "Fuck you guys," and they said, "No, we got to take that guy out." Yeah, you're right. He did go against them. You know, Gaddafi.
Every leader
Gaddafi
has
went
nothing.
They fucking killed his ass.
Yeah, they kill everybody. That's what I'm saying. That's why I can't get on board with like they're all, you know,
Gaddafi is a
because
real
I
one.
look at it like this: these people are complete sociopaths and like psychopaths to the point where all they want is as much power they can possibly obtain, right, and control. And why would they ever split it with somebody when they already have like their nation? They have that power within their nation and within their culture and within their people. You know, why are they gonna like sacrifice that to risk getting screwed over by somebody else in a different power structure when they're already on the top of their own power structure?
But my point is, it's the kids have inherited it, and like, you know, it's everyone's, all families, but they've lost a little bit of what got them the power, and that's why they're. I mean, because all these people are like in Hollywood, and not just Hollywood, or in the CIA, and like all that shit should just be stopped, I guess. But are we
Yeah.
ready for anarchy? Which is just no government. It doesn't mean everyone shooting everybody. It just means
Eh,
no government.
Anarchy is pretty much chaos.
Yeah, that's.
Yep.
But so is just stopping perceived society. You
I
know,
can
like
make a case for why anarchy is impossible.
yeah, no, I understand.
Human,
I'm listening.
humans are like by nature. It doesn't matter where you put a group of people, a hierarchy, that structure
Yeah.
will establish itself. Whether it's through hazing, whether it's through like dominant, whatever it is, we will, right? And by definition,
Lying,
that's
cheating,
the opposite of
stealing,
anarchy,
Yeah, but
right?
if
Once you
if
establish a hierarchy, you no longer have anarchy.
but if people are like enlightened and conscious, like numbers, there's like no bully or whatever. It should just be like the natural. Everyone fits
That
their role.
exists.
I know that seems crazy, but you know, like
That only
commune,
exists.
Okay,
they
going
don't
to the
work.
moon. Going to the moon sounds crazy. That doesn't sound that crazy, bro.
No, but if we all like were more relaxed and let
Well,
things come to us instead of
if we all knew how every which way we could get scammed, and we just said, "Nah, we ain't going with that, bro." Yeah, that could work, but not
like, I mean, the
everybody knows
Amish,
that.
we probably have to all be Amish.
Slightly Amish, I don't know, slightly American Indian.
Not autistic. I don't know. It's just like I think it's all in ruins. I mean,
Tartarian.
Humor.
Tartarians.
well, just history and like I don't know, I think it's been a short time that we built up this next. Like I was sure that we were the peak of civilization, but I think there may have been 100 billion people on the Earth at some point, and it's been mined 4 times over.
There's
built on.
evidence for that. There's some circumstantial evidence for that.
Already
For
talked,
sure.
yeah, the global warming stuff and the water. Like California's got tons of water, and it's dry here. We just don't manage it because it's powerful to sell it before it falls. People have leveraged their farm ownership into water rights, and now, and they sell us our food too. So they control shit. Controlled Newsom. California's an awesome example.
Gruesome Newsom.
Yeah, it was like 4 families and 100 years of.
Yeah, he's got some wineries.
It was shoot, I forgot what it's called.
Um,
But Getty bought him that.
I didn't do it on purpose, but I bought a wine opener, and it was from his winery. My friend pointed it out. He goes,
Nice.
"Hey, you got." I didn't know that when I bought it. I just bought it so I could open up a bottle of wine.
I used to know it.
But yeah, it's in my cupboard, man. I can maybe run and get it. But yeah, so yeah,
I
he's.
don't know, man. I have looked at so much.
Do you remember when he was having dinner at his winery during COVID lockdowns?
Or it was called the French Laundry. It was like a
Or whatever, some restaurant. And
yeah.
Yeah, they're all fucking while we're all sitting at home locked in our fucking house.
And he's like, "Oh, it's outdoors."
It was outdoors. Yeah, okay, well.
Well, no, but that like who releases that? Like, it's not even. It's probably just like his. Yeah, man. Whatever. It's not even investigative
Part of
journalism.
the marketing team released it, you know, but.
Or it's like a leak on some weird shit, but
I don't know, man. Could have been some guy in the woods, you know, going, "Fuck it, I got my fucking P900." Like,
man, I'm like ready for it, but I'm out like watching. like checking the waves, and I saw surfers getting kicked out of the water.
Right. Oh,
And
man.
I'm like, jet skis coming up, and they're like, dude, I know this is ridiculous, but there's cops on the beach. I could just see the conversation. He's like, what the fuck? No one's even near me. It's like, there's cops on the beach. If you don't go in, they're going to write you a ticket.
Yeah, I just say, write me a ticket. I'll see you in court, dude. In 2 years.
Well, yeah, like if
You know?
everybody would have done that, or not even
Yeah,
everybody,
man.
good percentage. And so that's those little battles. Like,
Yeah, that's the little battles that we have to deal with while they're, doing the big battles. And, I'm happy down here, man, being a, foot soldier, whatever we are. I'm happy.
all right, so nobody believes in Sun Tzu, I guess.
I think Gio might know some shit about that. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, no. I appreciate like even talking about it. Q. Man.
Oh, the Q stuff?
Yeah, no, I just have.
I thought you
like,
said
I
something
so
else.
much.
Sorry, man.
Well, no, I was Sun Tzu. Yeah, because
Sun
the
Tzu,
art,
is that
the
like-
art of war,
Talking
trust the plan.
I don't know.
Actually, the biggest thing that comes out of it is that memes got so big, right? And it's like only one side can make memes because they're like you can't make
The other side. Memes.
because it's like it's like no, we're talking about something and you guys are going to try to invert that, but that doesn't work because it's like there's a thing that got created by maybe the other side. You know what I mean? It's like no, we're taking something that exists and matching it up with something else and making something new. So that has a whole new meaning, and nobody can change the spelling or anything like that. You know what I mean? So it's like communication on a pure level, like both sides of the brain, which was something that Genghis Khan apparently used. Like he had songs or poems that would communicate, and if like something changed in the song, it would be a communication, and no one could get it wrong, and it would just spread like viral, So, and that was a big part of Q, and still is like Trump apparently Barron's a meme master.
Wow, man.
Like sign language is one of those things too. Like when you talk, you only use one
He's
side.
in deep. He's in deep.
That was like, hours and hours on that.
You're right though. The left can't meme for shit. They try and make a meme and it's got like 2,000 words on it and like jokes that are supposed to be funny and they're just dumb.
And that's kind of just because now, like, what's Trump's game? It's like the high ground is no men and women's sports. Like, you're going to argue against that? Okay, go ahead.
You should make somebody needs to make a meme with 2,000 words on it. There you go.
This is a meme. I swear it's a meme.
I mean, you could pull up leftist memes, right? And it has like an explanation and like a justification and like just sentence after sentence. Like, dude, I'm not reading this shit.
Or it's just
I don't care what you have on this. I'm just not reading it.
It's not happening, bro. 2,000 word meme. That's hilarious.
And then the right has a meme that says like 2 words on it. Like, like, and then the left crumbles over it.
I got to start writing this shit.
There's 2 pictures.
Like,
yeah. Like,
you make a meme like, what is a woman? And they have like a mental breakdown. Like, I can't answer that. Fuck.
I can't answer that.
Let me explain it to you. And
why
they have
are
like
you
a
being
counter
so
meme.
aggressive? Why are you being so aggressive? Slow down. Why? I can't.
That's also, it's like outside of the system too, because it's like a short circuit.
Well, it's the counterculture, right? You had like an organic culture that came up around the meme game, right? Which was mostly right-wing dudes just talking shit, being funny, fucking around with the situation. And that was organic, right? And then the left's like, no, we did
like a Saturday Night Live skit, you kind of make fun
Yeah.
of it.
It was fun, right? And not too many, like, when they first started happening, like, not too many people took it serious, just poking fun at, like, anything, right? Didn't matter if it was left, right, center. It was just make fun of shit with, like, a little caption. It was fun. Yeah. And then the left came out with this counterculture, like, no, this hurts our message. We have to fucking counter it with essays on fucking pictures. And somebody please read it. And everybody's like, no, I'm not reading that shit.
Let's make it go viral, please.
Yeah, dude, the videos that they got like these old Democratic leaders making. You gotta do something. We got a young producer.
The worst was, who's that lady? The big tit sag lady? Cortez. She went on Twitch. Started streaming on Twitch. It's like, oh, you're one of us. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I guess I guarantee like so many of the leftists were like, oh, she's just like us, sitting here streaming on a platform we'd send money to people on. It's like, dude, none of this shit is natural. Like, she looked so awkward on it. She couldn't be herself. But they just force themselves into spaces, and it's just, oh, too much.
It's so cock, I call it. It's just pure cock. Get out of here.
Like surfing on a soft top. That's
Dude,
hard.
you're in San Diego? I'm in Anaheim, man.
Nice.
Nice.
No, there's a couple of people out here. Oh, Andrew's like in San Jose, right?
Andrew's up there, and then you got Sonny down here, San Diego. There's another guy named CB. He's
What are you doing? Well, actually, whatever. I can talk to you about that.
What?
No, I'm just saying I could hit you up.
No, I mean there's times there's been meetups in the past, going way back. Sonny and I went to 2 or 3. A bunch of other people from San Diego came down a couple times. But yeah, there's a lot of flat earthers in San Diego. That's all I'm saying. At least.
Yeah, man, it's a weird thing because, you know, like we probably should all get along better. Not that I'm not getting along or.
I think we're getting along just fine, man.
Yeah, no, but I feel like there's more people than we think that are like halfway there, or go away from at least.
Just need the right meme, man. They're gone.
No, exactly. But you just have to do it yourself. You have to go. Yeah. I'm gonna watch this, and I'm watching it because I click, and then.
When I came in, man, you guys, I think, mentioned, are we making some headway? Are people starting to wait? And and I think to some extent, yes. I could go to a party right now, man, and say, man, that COVID thing, man, that was crazy, huh? Shit, what do you think about the vaccines?
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know, man. I think my aunt, dude, they're gonna go on. Asks back in 2020, right?
Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Like you couldn't get around it. Couldn't get around. Go into a store, no mask,